Hi, and welcome to the This Time Tomorrow video series. My name's Peter Wilson, and I'll be your host for the next several weeks as we talk with members of the Montvale Church to hear about how they live out their lives for Christ Monday through Friday. But first, I'd like to go and interview Pastor Sam Goertz and find out a little bit more about the origin and the purpose of this video series. Come join me. Pastor Sam, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day today to help explain a little bit more about the This Time Tomorrow video series. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Pete.
Would you please explain to us what these videos are about?
This Time Tomorrow are short interviews of where God has called people from our congregation to live and to work. And it got the name This Time Tomorrow because you're watching it on Sunday and we're asking you, where would you be this time tomorrow on Monday morning? Some of you might be an employee for a company. Maybe you run a company or own a company. You're the boss. Maybe you're a student at school, or maybe you're a parent who is taking care of children, or a retiree who volunteers your time, or some combination of those. So let me ask you right now, as you're watching, where will you be this time tomorrow?
Oh, that's great. And where did this idea come from?
I host a monthly pastors meeting, and this year we've been reading through a book. It's called The Flourishing Pastor, written by a pastor himself, Tom Nelson, and he's a pastor in Kansas City with the Free Church, and it's an excellent read if any of you are interested in a good book to read. And one of the chapters is titled Connecting Sunday to Monday. And obviously as pastors we're concerned that the things that we preach and teach about the Bible on Sunday would have application during the week. And in that chapter, Tom actually apologizes a little bit because sometimes he feels like as pastors, maybe not always intentionally, but we give the false impression that everything that's spiritual and important about your life happens on Sunday, and you know, that if you want to connect with God, it happens in those few hours. That's where you worship, that's where you're educated, and that's where you grow in your faith and so forth. And maybe we haven't helped people understand that all of life is sacred, and God wants to do so much more of your life. So at Tom's church, Christ Community Church in Kansas City, they started these testimonies called This Time Tomorrow. And it was a way of reminding the congregation that it's good to be gathered on Sunday, but it's also good to be scattered on Monday. God sends us out. The church is scattered on Sunday to many of these different places that He's called us to.
And what do you feel is God's will for this video series?
I'm always cautious about speaking for what God's will is, but there's two things I think I pray for, and I think I'm safe in knowing that it's God's will. First, so that He would use this to help us all grow closer to Him. You know, that we would understand through this that He really does love us, and He has a purpose for all our lives. He doesn't just love Pastor Sam and have a special purpose for his life. He has a purpose for all our lives, a plan, and that our Monday to Friday lives are not just places to survive, but actually to thrive. It's a place He has called us to live in and live out our faith. I think the live out part we kind of intuitively get, the fact that, okay, I Monday to Friday I need to be sharing my faith with others. I'm kind of a representative for God, and I'm on mission. This is my mission field. But it's also a place we live in our faith. It's like God's place of on-the-job training, where He's actually growing us through the circumstances and challenges we face at work. He's helping us to become more like Christ.
No, that's great. Now that you've piqued people's interest, how might someone actually volunteer to be a part of this series?
Pete, you're leading this project, so there would be the first go-to. Thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome.
And
it's part of my this time tomorrow.
Yeah, and you have a team that you're putting together to help you with this, and so certainly you can contact Pete if that's something you're interested in doing. Pete and the team may reach out to you looking for some stories to share. If you're newer in the church or maybe don't know Pete or some of these people as well, you can certainly contact the church office as well and just let them know, hey, I'm available, I'm interested. Can't guarantee we're going to get all of you on video, but it's a way you can volunteer.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much for giving us a brief intro, and hopefully it's gotten people excited to tune in coming weeks to hear some of their fellow Christians and their stories and how they live out their faith throughout the week. So thanks again, Pastor Sam.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is a neat way that God could draw us closer to each other too. Because when we hear each other's stories, you might make some new friends through this. Sometimes on Sunday we pass like ships in the night. There isn't always time for longer conversations, but maybe hearing someone's story is a way that you'll go, hey, I want to connect with that person. I didn't realize they do some of the same things I do, and and maybe God will create some new friendships through this as well.
Great, good.
Thanks
Again.